Hana walked through the bustling streets of Tokyo, a sea of faces swirling around her. But instead of the city's vibrant energy, she felt a suffocating wave of emotions. The anxieties of salarymen rushing to work, the silent grief of a woman clutching a single white lily, the fleeting joy of children sharing candy. Each emotion crashed over her, leaving her drained and overwhelmed.
From a young age, I knew I was different. I could feel the echoes of emotions from those around me, their joys and sorrows bleeding into my own. A simple touch, a fleeting glance, even proximity to another person opened a floodgate of feelings that weren't my own. I retreated inward, shying away from crowds, avoiding eye contact.
Yet beneath the burden, a question lingered. What if this wasn't a curse but a calling? Tokyo, for all its beauty and chaos, was a city that thrived on indifference. Millions of souls moved with a collective urgency, their individual heartaches and triumphs lost in the cacophony of city life. For Hana, this indifference was a tangible weight.
The bustling Shibuya crossing, a symbol of Tokyo's vibrant energy, filled me with a sense of dread. Each face in the throng was a story untold, a well of emotions I couldn't bear to tap into. The laughter of teenagers felt grating, a stark counterpoint to the silent despair of a homeless man huddled beneath the neon glow of a ramen shop.
Even the serenity of the Meiji Jingu Shrine, a green oasis amidst the urban sprawl, couldn't fully shield her. She yearned for a moment of quiet, to exist without being bombarded by the emotional static of the city. One rainy evening, Hana found herself drawn to the neon-lit expanse of the Rainbow Bridge. The bridge, with its graceful arc and twinkling lights, held a somber allure, a beacon against the stormy sky.
Then I saw him, a lone figure perched precariously on the edge, his silhouette a stark outline against the city's glittering skyline. Fear, sharp and cold, shot through me, but it was his sorrow that anchored me, a deep, soul-crushing grief that mirrored the raging storm above. Instinct took over, forgetting my own discomfort, my usual need to shield myself. I reached out, my voice barely a whisper against the wind. Please don't do this. There's still hope.
The man didn't turn, his body racked with sobs. Slowly, as if drawn by an invisible thread, he turned, his eyes filled with a pain that mirrored her own.
In that instant, something shifted within me. My empathy wasn't a burden, but a bridge, a way to connect with the deepest parts of the human experience.
The encounter on the bridge left an indelible mark on Hana. She was no longer content to simply endure her gift. She yearned to understand it, to wield it with purpose. Her search for guidance led her away from the bustling metropolis, to the serene embrace of the Japanese Alps.
Nestled amidst ancient forests and snow-capped peaks, I found a secluded monastery, a sanctuary dedicated to the practice of mindfulness and meditation. Here, surrounded by the whispers of the wind and the gentle rhythm of chanting monks, I began the arduous task of mastering my abilities.
Her teacher, a wizened old monk named Master Kenji, possessed a quiet strength that resonated with Hana's own longing for inner peace.
Hana, you must learn to ground yourself in the present moment, to observe emotions without being swept away by their intensity.
Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, as Hana immersed herself in the teachings. With each passing day, the fear that had once defined her relationship with her gift began to dissipate, replaced by a newfound sense of control and, surprisingly, peace.
With each passing day, the fear that had once defined my relationship with my gift began to dissipate, replaced by a newfound sense of control and, surprisingly, peace.
Returning to Tokyo after a year of intense training, Hana felt like a different person. The city's energy still buzzed around her, a symphony of emotions, but she was no longer adrift in its currents. She had found her anchor, her inner sanctuary.
Armed with my newfound clarity and a heart filled with compassion, I knew what I had to do.
In a quiet corner of Shibuya, tucked away from the neon-drenched chaos, Hana opened a small clinic. It was a haven of peace, a place where people could shed the masks they wore for the outside world and embrace their true selves. Word spread quickly about the gentle healer who listened with her heart.
I didn't offer cures or quick fixes. I offered something far more profound, a safe space to confront their pain, to untangle the knots of their emotions, and to rediscover the strength that lay dormant within.
There was the young musician crippled by stage fright, his talent stifled by the fear of judgment. Hana helped him find his voice, not just in music but in life itself.
With each patient, My belief in the power of empathy deepened. It was more than just feeling another's pain. It was about acknowledging their humanity, reminding them that they were not alone in their struggles.
As Hana's reputation grew, so too did the whispers about her abilities. Her gift, once a secret burden, had become a beacon, attracting attention from those seeking to exploit it for their own gain.
Their interest in me was far from benevolent. They saw my empathy as a weapon, a tool to manipulate and control, a means to infiltrate the minds of their rivals and bend them to their will.
Their whispers reached Hana like tendrils of smoke, insidious and pervasive, hinting at her true potential, her untapped power. A sense of unease settled over Hana, a creeping fear that her sanctuary, her hard-won peace, was about to be shattered. One evening, as the city's neon lights flickered to life, a stranger arrived at Hana's clinic. He was tall and imposing, his face hidden in the shadows of a wide-brimmed hat. His voice, when he spoke, was smooth and persuasive, like silk sliding over polished steel.
I'm Mr. Sato, a representative of a collective that has been following your work with great interest. Your unique talents, your extraordinary gift, have not gone unnoticed.
His words were laced with a subtle but unmistakable threat. He offered her a choice: join them willingly and unlock the true potential of her abilities, or be forced to comply. The choice, he assured her, was inevitable.
I felt a chill run down my spine. The rumors were true. The Syndicate had found me.
Fear warred with defiance within her. She had worked too hard, come too far, to let them take away everything she had fought for. But what could she, a single woman, do against such a powerful and shadowy organization? Her mind raced, searching for a way out, a way to protect herself and those she cared about. The encounter with Mr. Sato left Hana shaken. She knew she couldn't stay in Tokyo, not anymore.
With a heavy heart, I fled to a small village in Hokkaido, seeking refuge.
One evening, she stumbled upon an ancient scroll at a local shrine.
As I deciphered it, I learned of a lineage of women with extraordinary empathy.
These women were revered as healers and protectors of their communities.
I realized my gift was a legacy, a torch passed down through generations.
The scroll revealed that Hana's lineage stretched back centuries, to a time when empathy was not just a gift, but a revered art form.
My ancestors, women of extraordinary power and compassion, had dedicated their lives to guiding and protecting their communities, using their abilities to heal the sick, mend broken spirits, and stand as a bulwark against those who sought to exploit the vulnerable.
They understood that empathy, in the wrong hands, could be twisted into a weapon of manipulation and control. They had faced countless threats, endured persecution and sacrifice, to ensure that their gift was used for the greater good.
I knew then that I couldn't simply hide from the Syndicate. I had to fight back.
The weight of their legacy settled upon her shoulders, a mantle of responsibility she couldn't ignore. Armed with the knowledge of her heritage and fueled by a newfound sense of purpose, Hana returned to Tokyo. She was no longer the frightened young woman who had fled the city.
The fear was still there, but it was tempered by a steely resolve, a determination to honor the sacrifices of my ancestors. I would not let them down. I would not let the Syndicate twist my gift into something dark and destructive.
Her strategy was unconventional, a testament to the very empathy they sought to exploit. She reached out to those who had been manipulated by the Syndicate, those who had been used and discarded, their lives left in ruins.
I listened to their stories, offered them solace and understanding, reminding them of their own inherent worth. I helped them heal, not just from their emotional wounds, but from the poison that the Syndicate had injected into their lives.
Word spread like wildfire through the city's underbelly. The Syndicate had underestimated their adversary. They had seen her empathy as a weakness, but it was, in fact, her greatest strength.
I was building an army, not of soldiers and spies, but of ordinary people united by a common enemy and a shared belief in the power of compassion.
The final confrontation with the Syndicate took place in the heart of Shibuya Crossing, the city's relentless energy. The Syndicate had underestimated Hana, mistaking her compassion for weakness. Instead, she had become a force of nature, a tsunami of empathy.
You can't win. We are everywhere.
No, you are fear, and fear is nothing without darkness.
She unleashed her empathy, a wave of compassion breaking the Syndicate's hold. Smiles broke out on faces that had been etched with worry. Strangers reached out to help one another. Hana had shown the world that the greatest weapon against darkness was love.